Oh, okay, guys. So I can see many people have joined. So let's start the session. So I'm Anshu Bhatt. I'm your host for today's session, and which is regarding Java OOPS concept. We are already have given two sessions on Java. The first one was just a brief introduction of Java, and the second one was which where we discussed the Java features, Java 8 features, 9 features. So this is Java OOPS concept, and it's the basic of all the Java, this Java programming, and OOPS is every basis of all programming language. So before starting this session, I'll just give. I can see there are many new faces here, so I will just give a brief introduction about tech industry. So who we are and what we are doing here. So tech industry basically provides a platform. It's a knowledge sharing platform where there will be many learners, where professional students who will gain the knowledge regarding many courses. It's not limited to a particular course, IT course. It's we have many courses, many webinars for mechanical, electrical, and even for sales guys. This marketing and all those guys. So, and what we are doing here, we are the volunteers for this tech industry who is providing this platform to you guys. So it's a basically a bridge between the students and professionals who want to gain the knowledge and the young industry experts who have the in-hand experience, who are the experts of these technologies and who will provide you all this information. So I will just take you to the website, this tech industry website. Brief. It will just take 1 or 2 minutes. Let me share my screen. Please, guys, let me know if you can see the screen. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
visible.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So here you can see it's a website www.techindustry.in. We have two ongoing sessions. The first one is Core Java, which is third workshop, which is the present one, and the second is Big Data. We have already given the first introduction of Big Data session Saturday, and this is a new pipeline session on next Saturday, 18 July. So you can see register button. You can just register if you want to gain knowledge for Big Data also. And also if you want to check what all courses are pipeline, what all courses are ongoing, you can just click on subscribe button here. It will take you to Facebook page here, and we are posting all our whatever sessions are there. We are posting the details of all those here. As you can see, this one is for Java, and similarly for Big Data. And also there are many courses which will be coming in, which will be there in coming days. So just follow this page, follow the website, and you will get all those information here. So now taking much without taking your time, I can just hand over I will just hand over the session to Raman. He is your instructor for today's Java session. So Raman, you can just continue. And guys, one more, if you have any question, you can just drop in the chat box, or you can even ask Raman. We have a question answer session at the end of this session. So whenever you feel you have any question, do ask those questions. Thank you. Hi, Raman. You can
Hello.
continue.
Hey, hi everybody. Hi, how are you?
We are fine. How about you?
How are you?
Hello, hi. Yep, I'm doing good. Hope you are at home, staying safe. And okay, so yep, here we are with our third session in this Java 101 webinar that we started around 2 weeks back, 2-3 weeks back. Right, I hope some of us are already there who have attended first two sessions. So guys, I want this session to be interactive. I would appreciate if you can maybe unmute the session first. On the left side, bottom left side, you can see there's a mute button, right? Great.
Yes.
Yeah, or maybe at the top you can see, on the left side you can see unmute. Or if you're comfortable, maybe you can share your video as well. So it could be like one-on-one, we can see each other, right?
Yes, right.
Perfect. So guys, in the first two sessions, we discussed a little bit about Java basics. It was around variables. I just started with variables. Then we talked about operators. And in the second session, we talked about features of Java 8, 9, 10, 11. And today we bring to you the latest and the hot topic in our session on this webinar, right? And we call it OOPS. And you can see why OOPS, right? So it's an object-oriented programming system. That's why you call it OOPS. So I'll take you a little bit back in the history of programming languages when we had C, Fortran. All those were procedural languages, which means they just talked about methods, right? What you want to do from one method, you'll go to a different method. You'll do some work, some functionality, and then you'll come back to the original calling method, right? And what is the difference between that C and this Java? So Java has come up with this OOPS concept, object-oriented programming system, where the main focus is object, right? So you can see the last three words, oriented programming system or oriented programming language, right? But on what? It's on objects. So what's an object? Let me ask you. Any layman definition of object? Anybody?
Object is an instance of a class.
Okay, that is a Java specific definition. Anything, basic.
Object is a real world entity, like that.
Okay, great. I want more talking happening here, guys. I want you to help me carry out this session.
Object is having something and does something.
Okay,
Object having behavior and state.
perfect. I think this is the closest one that we can have. Okay, so can this Oppo A5 mute?
Guys,
There's
can
some
you please-
disturbance.
If you are
Okay.
not talking, can you please mute, guys?
Yeah, thank you, Anshu. So guys, if we talk about object, can you see this? Anybody? What is
Yes.
this device? Is it visible?
Phone.
Yes.
So this is a mobile, right? And this is an object. This is the very basic object. I guess most of you are holding a mobile device in your hand right now while having this session, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in very basic terms, a mobile phone is an object. We can see a water bottle. This is an object, right? We can see a mouse here. This is an object. Myself, I am an object, right? You are an object. So anything that you can see, anything that you can feel, anything that is around you, features, right? So for a mobile phone, you can say maybe color of the mobile phone, maybe the screen size of the mobile phone, the amount of memory it can hold, RAM and ROM, both. What is the pixels in camera? That is also one of the features, right? So these are the things that make an object. These things are called features or fields or variables. Okay, so this is about feature. Okay, then we have behaviors. What is the behavior that a mobile phone can do, right? If you want to call somebody, you can call. So that's a feature. You can call, that's a feature. Or you can share your screen and see. Sharing screen is a feature in your mobile phone, right?
Right.
Or you can listen to a song, you can see a video. All these are features of your mobile phone or an object. Okay, so let's say we talk about a basic model. Let's say we talk about Xiaomi mobile phone or OnePlus or Samsung, LG, anything. Okay, so all these phones, all these mobile phones, or all these objects, and as we talk about all these phones, the first time when they created, there was a prototype model, right? Or a concept. So when we talk about class is a concept which makes an object. Okay, so in class we'll decide, okay, for this new mobile phone we should have this feature, we should have this behavior, right? And then once it goes to production, when the actual phones come out, these are actual objects, real life objects, right? So the difference between class and object: class is a blueprint, from which we can get an object. So there are multiple ways wherein we can create objects in Java, right, or in any other programming language. And similarly, how we have in the mobile phone industries where they manufacture it, right? So they have a blueprint from where they'll make the objects. Okay, so this is very basic of an object and a class. Class is just a virtual thing which will tell you how an actual object looks like. Okay. So I'll take you to next slide. Yeah, so here it is. Class, it's a blueprint that defines attributes and methods. So we just talked about features. Attributes are the features or the fields, right? And methods are behaviors of that class. Behavior as in we can call, we can see the SMS, we can watch videos. So these are all objects, and these objects are defined by a class. Okay, so initially when mobile phone came up, they told, okay, these all attributes, these all fields, this will be the screen size, this will be the memory, and these are the features that this mobile phone will carry. Nowadays we have all these waterproof things coming up, right? So they are features, and object is something that is actually existing. So yep, I talked about a mobile phone. Here I have given a very simple example. If we talk about an animal or let's say dog, right? So what will be the features? Breed, size, age, color, right? And what will be the methods? Eat, sleep, sit, run, jump, anything, right? What a dog does or an animal does. Okay, so now this was a very basic definition of or the concept of an object or a class. But how do you achieve this thing in object-oriented programming in Java? Okay. So how do, if you want to transfer, if you want to make an object or a class in Java, how do we do it? So on the left side, you can see I have written a blueprint for a class, right? Here we told, what does a class consist? It consists of only two things. One is field, one are methods of that class. Okay. You can have multiple fields, you can have multiple methods. Field 1, field 2, field 3, field, and similarly for methods, right? Am I clear, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, great. So this is how we write a simple class. Okay, class name, fields. That's it, nothing else. So you are good to go. Now you know the first feature of object-oriented concept. Okay, congratulations. So with this, I'll move to next slide. Okay. Now I told, like in manufacturing industries, how they create objects. They have all that a line set up wherein one part will come, then another, then they'll bind together. All the welding will happen, right? So similarly in Java, how do we create an object from a class? Okay. So let's say we have a class here. Class name. Let's say our class name was here. We need to write dog. I'll show you programmatically as well. Yeah, so here it's dog, our reference variable name, new dog, right? So, and from one class is just a blueprint, and from one class we can have multiple objects. Here we can see we have 3 different breeds of dogs here, right? Napoleon Mastiff. It is, large in size. We have mentioned some features, age and color. And for this Maltese, we have, it's very small size dog, and you can see it's a baby dog, right? Puppy. So similarly, we can have multiple incidents, or you can say occurrences of a class, right? Or instances, we call it. Okay. And the process of creating an object from a class is called instantiation. Okay. And this specific line, new class name, this is responsible for creating a class, creating an object from a class. Okay. I hope I am clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much.
Everybody
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
on the
Yes,
left
sir.
side.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Anybody
yeah.
has any
Yes.
question here on the left side or the right side? What is this? What is this? Why? So yeah, here we are with class and object. So what I told, we need to have features and behavior in a class. Okay. So features are variables. In our session we talked about variables. Background noise. Let's please mute. Somebody's dog class, right? Anybody?
Color,
Perfect.
breed,
I was about to write that. Sorry, color will not be in.
height,
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Anybody else? Anything?
Weight.
breed, breed,
Wait.
breed, yes, sir.
Perfect. Breed.
Cost,
Yeah, guys, I think that's enough. So we have these 4 features. Okay, I'll write it for you. These are the features. Okay. Features of, okay. And then we had some. We have behaviors, right? We had methods. Do you recall any methods?
Barking in case of
Perfect.
dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Any other method?
Eating,
Okay, perfect.
eat food.
So yeah, yeah. Thanks. So before I,
running,
yeah.
running,
Sorry, I cannot hear you. Run. Okay.
run,
Is that run? Yeah, yeah. I got it. Yeah, that's correct. So how we wrote it there in the side was directly run, right? So whenever we write a method in any programming language, you need to follow this brackets, right? Called parentheses, circular brackets or parentheses. Okay. So these are the method. Okay. But then there's one catch here. To write a method, you always need a return type of that method. Okay. We need to have a return type. Return type here is void. Return type means if we want this method to do something and then return back to the original method, right? Then what is that thing that this method is returning is something that we write here. Okay. Void means nothing. So for this method, we don't want it to return anything to the calling method. Okay. We just want it to do like this. So just a shortcut for you guys. If you just write s by s control space, it will print out this. Okay. So this is a method that is printing out something on the screen. I hope I am clear. So similarly, we can have multiple methods, right? What was that other method? Let's say we had jump, right? So here we have four fields or features and 2 methods. Okay. And as I told, you can have multiple. Fine. Are we good till now? Is there any doubt, any question so far?
Hi, I didn't catch you there. So void means you're supposed to return something?
No. Void means, so void word itself tells void means nothing, right? Void is something that doesn't have anything. So it's nothing basically. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So returning in a programming language, specifically Java, is something like this. If you want to return, if you want to return a string type, if you want to return any other field, let's say int, any integer type. So you need to give that here. So let's say we wanted this method to return height. Okay.
Okay.
Since height is integer type, you need to write here. Okay. So this will solve your issue. Gone? Right? Anything else? Any other question till now? Or if you're clear, just give a heads up so we can move to next slide. Because I cannot see the chat box. So I assume we are good. Right?
It's clear. It's clear for me.
Perfect.
It's clear.
Great, guys. Yeah. Thanks. So, yeah, if we move back to our original slides, right? So we have declared fields, we have declared methods.
Question from Suraj. Why do we return something in Java?
Okay. So Suraj, I expect you are a complete fresher. Okay. I will answer your question in another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. Why do we return? So guys, Java or any other language, we have methods, right? And what are methods? Methods are specific block of code that do something for you. Let's say you go to an office, okay, or you go to a bank and you want to deposit money. So deposit, they'll ask you to go to a specific window, right? If you want to talk to your relationship manager or you have take some loan, for loan there's a different department. Okay, so it's just categorization, or we have just divided in different departments to do that specific job. Okay, so we just replicate that here in programming if we want to do something specific, okay, that is related to this class.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but you are not audible.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you properly actually.
Yeah, even I'm able to hear you.
For me also, it's okay.
Maybe you have some speaker issues or your headphones. You can just correct that. Right? So guys, I was talking about methods, yeah. And why do we need to have return types, right? So a difference between a counter where you deposit money. So let's say you are depositing money, right? You just go there, you put your money, you give to that fellow who's sitting there, okay? And he just deposits your money, nothing else. That's it, right? So from that method or from that window, you don't get anything back. Am I clear? Right? Let's say you go to a different window where you want to withdraw money. You give them your passbook or you give them your form, okay, along with your signatures, and they give you back money, like if you have balance, correct? So different windows, different functions, they serve different functions, right? Different procedures serve different functions, or different methods serve different functions. That's why we call these methods as functions also, functions or procedures. Okay, so let's say there was some function or feature or functionality where we want to see what that function has done. Okay, where we want, let's say, so you have a calculator, right? A basic example what do we do with the calculator? Let's say we want an addition function, right? So you'll do 1 plus 2 equals, right? So that equals will give you back an integer type of value, which is 3 in your case. Okay, that means it is returning you something. You're giving something and it is returning you back something, correct? So in that case, you need to write this int or string. Okay, so for the methods that don't require any return, right, that we don't want anything to give us back, okay, we just want that function to do something at its own, and we can later on take care what happened, what that function did. Okay, so let's say you deposited money, okay, you went back home or in your car, you just logged into your application, bank application, be it ICICI, HDFC, Axis Bank, anything, right, or SBI. So you can directly check that money was deposited there, right? So that function has done its job perfectly well, but you didn't return, I mean, that cashier guy, he didn't return you back anything, right? So there it's a void method, and an integer method will give you back, right? I told about withdraw method. Hope I am clear, Suraj. Static, if I remove this static here. Now how to call methods of a class. Just write this name, dot method name as these parameters, and you're good. Got it? So what we did here, very simple. We just wrote a constructor call. What's a constructor? Constructor is a method. Okay, it's a method. So you can see here method call, right? It's a method which has same name as that of a class name. Okay, and this will give us memory which will be referred from this variable, and whatever things, all the things that you have in this class will be referred using this variable. Okay, so in this class, at this class level, you can see we have this method, right? Just don't look at this method. Okay, let's remove it as of now. So what do we have here? We have a method called sum, right? So to refer to a method in a class, you need to call calc dot method name and the required parameters. Okay, and it gave us some a plus b. Fine, and I'll just let me write sum from class object LCS. Perfectly executed. We need to write, okay, we need to directly call this. I hope you got how I did this, right? I'm just returning it here. If you want, you can actually store it first, something like this. Okay, and directly write sum here. Okay, so if I'll just go through it again. Here we called this method of this class calculator using this variable or reference variable, okay, using this dot operator, lc dot sum, and we need to give the numbers that we want it to add, right? So int a and int b. What this method has done, it has added these two numbers a and b, and it has returned using this keyword, okay, and it has returned it here. Okay. So right to left assignation, this method will give us a plus b, which is 2 plus 1 is 3, and it is assigned to sum, and we simply printed the sum, right? So I hope you guys are clear with this concept of class and object
Yes.
Yes, sir.
and constructor, right?
Mm,
Okay. Any question till now? Anybody?
Till now there is no question, but might be for constructor when we go in detail. I'll have so many questions about this.
Okay. Yeah. So constructor is a little different topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then as of now, I think considering this a
Yeah.
basic class for everybody,
Yep.
we'll just limit it to this, right? So guys, I feel we are running short of time because I can see it's almost 7 o'clock now. I don't mind continuing the session for another 15-20 minutes so we can touch at least something apart from this, right? I have a lot of stuff for you, a lot of stuff that you won't see anywhere in YouTube also, right? And specifically this levels of abstraction is what I am personally interested in to explain you guys. This is an industry level definition. If at an interview point of time, if we just talk about the levels of abstraction like this thing that you can see on the screen, you will crack that interview, and I can guarantee you that, right? So is it okay if I continue a little bit, or maybe we can take it to next session? I don't mind that as well.
We can continue.
We can continue.
We can.
Guys, please, write it in the comment box.
Guys, if anyone has any issue, just type in the chat box, or we will continue. Okay, I think everybody is good to continue.
I need at least 10 yeses to continue.
Guys, type yeses. Okay.
Just
yeah, Raman, you are good
let
to
me count.
continue.
Please don't write 2 times. Vineet Talashi. Okay, great. Suraj 2 times, yes. Ashok, Priyanka, Mayuri, Suraj, Hemant, Vineet, Bhargav. Anybody who doesn't want to continue? Just write it. You are anonymous. Okay. So we are good. Great. Yep, we will share the feedback link for sure after the session, right?
Yeah, feedback will be shared after the session. So yeah, you will. I think Raman, you can continue. After that, we will go to feedback.
Okay. Fine. Thanks, Anshu. So I'll continue. So this was just a slide, an introduction slide to object class, which I already explained, right? So we gave one field, it's a static field. We will come to all the concepts in deep in future lectures, but I think to explain to everybody, considering we have freshers also, it will take time. But then guys, stay with me. I'll make sure you have a very good understanding of Java in the following lectures. So we talked about fields, we talked about methods, right? Multiple methods. Method 1 was main method, which is called by JVM, right? So from here, the execution of all the programs start. And from this main method, we keep on calling multiple methods, right? And all that data is stored on stack. We'll talk about it on a different lecture of JVM, Java Virtual Machine, how it works. Okay? And all the memory, we have multiple things called method area, we have stack area, we have heap area. So this class will be stored on heap, okay? This static will be on class area because it's at class level. I'll talk about all that later. And this was another method display, okay? And yep, just to give you one thing, did you notice something different here? We always talk about system.out.println.
Yeah, what is system.err?
Okay.
Error
Great.
dot.
Perfect. You'll see some magic here, right? So far you can see it's all black and white screen, right? I'll make it colorful for you. Perfect. So it has changed the color, right? What happened?
Yeah.
Nothing happened. This is just a error class, and errors usually are printed in red color, right? Because of the bandwidth. You can see,
Okay.
yeah,
So
this.
ERR is used to print errors.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
In real time we actually use loggers, right? When we are working in an industry project, we will use loggers, but just for the purpose of demonstration I have used system.err. But then yeah, we will have a session on how actually tech industry works, how IT industry works, how tasks are assigned to you, how does a developer start working, or for testers also we will have a class. I'll take you through multiple tools that we use. Okay. So this is nothing. This was just error and this is a system final class which has multiple variables or objects. You can see ERR in and out. There are 3 methods. Okay. So let's not take that direction or it will be different. Or we lose track of time. So I was on this slide. I have explained it already, right? Then a little bit on constructors. What does it do? A constructor will create instances for our classes, right? So when we talk about classes, we say we have a class, right? And I told it's virtual. It doesn't help us. It is just there to enable us to create objects, and objects are something that we actually use in programming. Things that actually exist, right? So constructors are something that help us to do that using new operator, right? Constructors have same name as that of a class name, right? They can have any access modifiers and a couple of more things. The first line in a constructor by default, we need to call a super constructor, right? So yeah, we'll take it up sometime later. So this was about constructors and about like we told here, right? So the first method has always a main method. Just maximize the screen, right? So from main method we call another method. We have seen the sum method, right? So from first we call JVM, we'll call the main method. From main method we call sum method. So from main method we can have multiple calls to multiple methods, and inside one method we can call another method. Okay. So let's say we have this main. From main we call method 1. From method 1 inside we call another method called method 2. Okay. And inside that we had this private variable x. Okay. And these private variables are called instance variables, and they're stored on stack. I have a differentiation for all that. I am pointing out to this one actually. So this is the constructor call that we talked about. Okay. And this object will be created and stored on heap memory. Okay. Heap is a shared memory, like class memory. So a little bit about memory here. Now abstraction, right? So I think we are good with classes and objects concept. Now we talk about abstraction. So guys, quickly, can anybody tell me with their experience or studies at college level or yourself exploratory levels, what did you get or what did you understand about abstraction? Can you tell me? Can anybody tell me? See anything here? I don't know why I cannot see the screen. Maybe this one. Okay, this is better. And even you can unmute and you can enable your video also. Let's talk. face to face.
Abstraction is the concept of hiding internal details and describe things in simple way.
That's absolutely right. Right. Okay. And how do we do it? Do it in Java? If you have any knowledge.
By making the variable private and providing getter setter methods.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. No, that is not right. Not by making variables private. Abstraction has nothing to do with private, public, protected, or default.
Abstract in
We
abstract.
we are making classes, abstract classes, I guess.
Okay, yeah, fairly correct. Okay.
We got
Using-
answer from Suraj using abstract class.
Yeah, in
Okay.
Java we can also use there is a that interface. We can declare interfaces for abstraction.
Okay. Great, great.
Using the abstract keyword.
Okay, that's right. So yeah, I'll take it over from there. Thank you guys for responding. So yeah, first thing, if you have this concept like private and public protected, these things are responsible for abstraction. That is absolutely wrong, right? So what is abstraction? As you already explained the definition, abstraction is something that, if we want to highlight the just the basic important things to the user and not telling the underlying details, right? So we talked about mobile phone, or we talked about this mouse. Okay, so what do we do? What does a mouse have? It has two buttons, left and right? So now if you press left button twice, right, it will open something. You don't know how actually they have written the code, or how are the semiconductors inside this mouse connected, and how does it actually convert our clicks into opening a file. Or let's say we talk about the mobile phone, we do double click or we open something, we run a video, what's happening in background, nobody knows. Or let me take a very basic example of ATM, right? You go to an ATM, you punch in your card, you give your PIN code, and you withdraw the money. You don't know what has happened in background. So these are all easy and daily life examples of abstraction, right? And what does abstraction do? It will just enable you to use the feature, and it will not tell you what is underlying, what has been written, what is the code beneath that, or what is the hardware, or how is the connectivity done, what happened at network. Nobody knows nothing about it, right? So in Java, to enable security, we have this abstraction. We have those modifiers also, public, private modifiers also, that also do help in security, but that is not abstraction. That is not OOPS concepts. Okay, so what is abstraction in Java, right? In Java, abstraction is achieved by these four levels. Okay, these four things. Okay, and if we talk about highest level of abstraction, so in Java, highest level of abstraction is interface. Okay, interface is 100% abstracted. If I talk about a web service, nowadays you guys know about REST APIs or any other APIs, right? Or the web services. What these web services do, they will expose only interfaces to the client, only the methods that are written in the interfaces, right? And can anybody tell me what is an interface? We are talking about interfaces in Java. We talked about class, we talked about object, and now we are on interface. What's an interface?
Interface is like a contract which tells the user or other class that what it does. But
okay, that's right. A very high level definition of interface, right? Yeah, I think James Gosling has written that. If we talk in very simple terms, what will be an interface?
Interface is a blueprint of a class.
No, Interface is not a blueprint of a class. A class can exist without an interface.
Interface highlight importance of project, or it will only contain, we can only declare the methods. We cannot write code inside that.
That's right. Yep, fairly correct. Yes, interface is used to, I wouldn't say highlight, but expose only those things that, we don't want other projects to know. So nowadays, everything is interconnected, right? From a Facebook application or from a Gmail, you can go to Facebook. From Facebook, you go to a different application, right? Or if you talk about, let's say you want to book a flight ticket, you go to makemytrip.com. From there, you select something, some flight destination, and you go to payment window. From payment window, it takes you to a payment gateway. There, that will take you to your bank, HDFC, ICI banks, and then you make the payment. It comes back, right? So these are all interconnected systems, and the point of the bridge between them is an interface. Very simple terms, I would say, right? Because interface will give only the name of the method. It will not give definition, what is written inside. And that's what is 100% abstraction. It won't tell the class or the other side of the project, the class using that what is inside that interface, right? So that's how we achieve 100% abstraction. That's how we achieve 100% what? Abstraction. Yeah, we achieve 100% abstraction. And abstraction is hiding of details, means we achieve 100% hiding of details and showing only the bare minimum, right? Just the method name. Okay. I have some interface. Yeah, I have it. Right. So in Java, like we talked about class, so classes are declared using class keyword followed by the class name, and interfaces are declared using the keyword interface and the interface name. You can write anything here, right? And in the last example we saw, we have given definition of the methods. We have written main method, we have written like sum method, addition of two numbers, right? We gave some return type, we have written system.out.println, which has printed, done something for us, right? So those are the functionalities. That is something that our methods are doing, right? And we can see it. But same thing in interface we cannot do. You can just write the method name, right? We have just written the method name, nothing else. Okay, and these interfaces are used by underlying classes. Those classes can be abstract classes, those classes can be concrete classes, those classes can be final classes. Okay, any class, those classes can use this interface. Like they implement this interface, and they will tell you what and how to write the methods. They will define these methods. They will tell what these methods do. Okay. So if we talk about animal interface, right? So let's say you are designing a system, right? And that system has to do something with animals. Okay. So what Java engineers thought at start, they got the basic details of let's say animals here, right? An animal. So what is something that an animal does that all the animals do, right? So all the animals, they have a voice of their own, right? They speak, or they have a tone of their own. I just written the name speak, right? Everybody eats something, right, to survive. So these are the common features, okay, that we want in our animal project. Okay, if you talk about, let's say, an car interface, right? So what do we do here? We write interface car, and what will be the common features that all cars do? All cars, they have all cars have 4 tires. That's one feature. That's not a method. They have speed, right? They have maybe, or now if you talk about the latest cars, security features. So let's say if you fell asleep and your steering is moving left or right side, so it will automatically fix that. So that is also one of the security features. So similarly, we have for animal, we have written these three. So that is about interface, right? And since we do not write any definition like this in interface, if you write here something system.out or anything, if you're doing addition or anything that you want the system to do, then it's not an interface. Then that means you are already telling what this method is doing. Okay. So interfaces are 100% abstract. Okay. Make sure you tell this in your interviews. Okay. Then the next level talks about abstract classes, right? So does anybody know what is an abstract class? Or okay, let's not talk about abstract class. Let's talk about concrete classes first. Okay, then I'll come to abstract class. So concrete classes are the normal classes that we use in Java, right? We just saw one calculator class, or we saw this class and object class, right? Let's talk about calculator class. So this is a concrete class, and these are used 95% or 95% of the times in a project, right? These are concrete classes. These have methods. You can write the definition. Here you can see this return is a definition of this method. This complete in the calculator, this constructor call, then this sum call, and this printing, everything is part of the definition of this main class, main method, right? So these are concrete classes, the basic class for your understanding. Okay. So we talked about interface. Interface will not have any definition or anything. Concrete class will have all the definitions, right? So interface doesn't have any implementation, you can see here. And this is the normal class. These two are abstract classes. So they have the methods, right? Now, what is an abstract class? So you, in this diagram, you can see abstract class is sitting between an interface and a concrete class, right? So abstract class has features of both. Okay, it has features of interface as well as concrete class. What does that mean? That means interface, from interface, it will take methods that do not have definition, and from concrete class, it will take methods that have definitions or implementations. Okay. So abstract class, right? So very basic abstract class will take from, from the top up in the hierarchy, and from top and the bottom from the concrete class. And one more important thing, to identify an abstract class, you need to write this abstract keyword. Okay. So for interface, we had interface here. For abstract class, as the name suggests, you need to write abstract class followed by the class name. Okay. Abstract class can have methods which do not have definitions. Okay, here you can see, and I have written it, only method definitions like we have an interface, right? And it has taken up this feature or inherited this feature from concrete class like eat, and it has some definition. So this is an abstract class. All these are used in real-time projects. That's why I wanted you to know it. Then we have concrete class, as we already discussed. These are the basic classes. We call them directly execute class. And then the least abstract, they are not abstract, right? So we have these final classes in Java. I think okay, no, this is not correct. So final class, you need to write this keyword, final, right?
Naman, difference between final class and concrete class?
Perfect. Yeah, I was about to come to it. So what's the difference between a final class and a concrete class, right? That's what you're asking. I'll show you via programming also. So when we talk about a final class, here you can see So I think I can explain this better when we talk about inheritance, right? Because we have used inheritance feature, which is also one of the object-oriented feature. So this extend keywords you can see here, right? Extends keyword.
Yes.
Class, dog class, right? So here in this example, you can see two classes. One is a final class, animal final class. One is a dog class, which is not a final class, it's a concrete class, right? And this class is extending features from this final class, okay? Here you can see we have a method eat and eat here. Oh, you can see here animal is eating. I'll show you in Eclipse also. So guys, this thing is not possible. This is a Java feature, okay? Extension is a Java feature as a part of inheritance in OOPS, okay? But this will not work. This feature will not work here because this is a final class. And if you just remove this, it will work. Okay. So I think for that we need to, touch upon that inheritance feature. I think today we will not be able to do that, right? So am I clear till now?
Yes.
Yes.
Guys, was
Yes,
this
sir.
okay? Maybe you can type in comment box also. Anybody, any questions?
Guys, if you have any question, you can just ask Raman, or you can also type in the chat box.
Sir, I'm having one question.
Mm-hmm.
Why we use interfaces if we can create the abstract classes?
Right. So see, there are instances wherein you just need, and I think I explained that. So when we are designing systems or enterprise level frameworks, I'm not talking about applications, I'm not talking about distributed systems, I'm talking about frameworks. So in those frameworks, when there is an exchange of data between multiple entities of that framework, or let's say when we talk about applications also, so different applications are communicating over internet, we gave that example. So there we should not expose our methods. Exposing a method means giving these details, right? Definitely you can use anything. You can use a final class, you can use a concrete class, you can use an abstract class, everything you can use. But in abstract class, you need to have one method definition at least, right? Otherwise, it's not an abstract class. Okay. Otherwise, it's a simple interface. So let's say you have exposed an abstract class over a REST API, right? And some other application is connected, and they can see your code. Then that is a security issue, right? So that's why we do not use abstract classes, and we have interfaces in place. We use abstract classes, but that is part of our own application, right? I hope I am clear. So
Yes,
since interfaces are like complete abstract. Abstract means secure in very simple terms, right? So interfaces are complete secure. So what are we doing with an interface? We are just giving the interface the method names, and with that name, nobody from that other part of the application or different application can understand or can come to know, or a hacker cannot hack anything in your application, right? And these days we know like how important it is to be secure, right? So they just know your method name, that's it, nothing else. Whatever is written inside that code is not known to them, right? So as of now, I just touched interface. I have not, talked about how interfaces are used, how a class will implement. So let's say we have just given method names. What is the use? It's not doing anything, right? This can be a very good question you had asked. So interfaces are of no use on their own, right? So we need some class to use the interfaces. So all the methods that are written in the interface, the method names, those method names will be overridden in the class that implements it. So that is one feature. If you want, I think we already shoot it up to almost 7:30 now. I think we should continue, right?
Yeah, Raman.
So almost
It's
1.5
yeah.
hours.
We have one question from Ankita. It's what kind of questions asked in the interview related to OOPS?
Ankita, the first question will be on abstraction for sure. Okay. And I hope you can answer it.
Sorry?
I'm telling the first question on OOPS in Java will be abstraction.
Okay.
Right? So there are other questions also that as part of OOPS, like inheritance. There are many things on inheritance. They can ask you on polymorphism, right? They can ask you constructors. Maybe they can ask you like what are the different ways an object is created, right? So I have all that. We have a lot of stuff to discuss, but then to explain at this much deep level, it will take time. I hope you understand, and I expect and I hope you guys stay with me in this Java class, right?
Thank you,
So
sir.
yeah, thank you. I am not sure how to close this window. I'll stop sharing. So guys, thank you. Thank you for listening to me patiently for almost 1.5 hours.
Thank you, Raman, for your interactive session. It was nice for like example, live example.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Raman.
And I'll try to keep the sessions like that.
So yeah, it was very nice session, Raman. So guys, we will be having the other ongoing session, which you can get the details from FB page or website. We have a lined up session for this Saturday for big data, and for the next Java OOPS second part, it will be on Sunday same time. So you guys can just check out to our pages for details, and yeah, we will be sharing a feedback form also after in some time. So guys, do share your feedback. It's very important for us to know what you think about us, what are the ways in which we can improve our sessions. So yeah, anybody has any questions? Anup has sir's LinkedIn ID. Yeah, Raman. Anup, want your LinkedIn ID? Yeah, I will just post here. Yeah, guys. Anyways, thank you, and yeah, you can get all those information on our pages on our website. Just follow those pages and follow our website. You will get all this information. I think nobody has any more questions, so I will just close this session. Thank you, and stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Have a good day. Take care. We'll connect next week again, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye everyone.
Bye.